what is the range?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then on the drop sets, what are the range? Because the drop sets range a little differently, possibly, or are they the same?
Possibly. So the ultimate goal always is,
and like body part might vary. Like you said, arms, like
it's
all the same.
All the same. So the ultimate goal is 9 to 11 at failure. So around rep 7 or 11, you want to be questioning if you're going to make it through the set.
Yeah.
If you're at like 3 or 4 and you're moving way too fast, go ahead and stop. Put some more weight on there.
Yeah.
3 working sets mainly, just because volume is something that I've learned that health-wise, I don't recover really well from.
Yeah.
That's what weightlifting taught us. Like, volume beats me to death. So I get maybe 3 main motions. Tomorrow's Monday, so let's go through chest.
Yeah.
So I'll start with some sort of a mechanically advantaged incline press, something that's super stable. Hammer strength incline, typically. Look at the logbook, realize what my weight was last week, and look at the reps. So if that first set's at like 13, I'm going up this week.
Yeah.
That set was at 9, I'll repeat the number.
Yeah, until you go, until you get 10 or 11.
13, 14 is usually like the sign to go ahead and go up in weight.
Go up in weight, okay.
9's acceptable. In a big compound movement, that slides down to like 6 and 7 being really acceptable, and 12 being way too many.
Yeah.
Like a really super heavy back squat. And taking into account all this means that your range of motion and everything is standard, right? There's no cutting a rep short.
There's no deviation, full lockout.
Bingo. Or,
I know what you mean,
where
but
people feel safe.
Yeah.
I don't want people
no,
hyperextending their
but
knees.
like full, good range of motion.
Correct.
Not
repeatable
quarter reps.
Repeatable range of motion, right? And that'll improve over time as well as people don't learn. Like we've got a young lifter, our barber, shout out to Max. He's come along with us for like the last 6 months. And you'll see that his range of motion is actually increasing if you watch his recordings, because he's getting stronger in range. So he's actually more comfortable to go to a range of motion that previously wasn't really that possible for him. So we'll go through. Say we do an incline press, maybe a flat press, but never like a bench press. I don't bench anymore.
Yeah,
shoulders don't need it.
And to be honest with you, it's probably not to go to failure on something like that. It's probably not the safest for your shoulders, biceps, pecs. Like, it's not worth it. That's why you do machines. Like,
certainly not.
Like, you're not a power lifter. You're not a weightlifter. You're not a strong man. You're there to get bigger,
right,
and look better.
Right.
So why not do something that's gonna be safer, to where if you do fail, you just drop it.
Well, you want exactly. Why even risk highly repeatable over time, right? So you want that to be able to be repeated the next Monday. You don't want to have to take that time off. And we do have those little injuries pop up where you may lose a set a week because you have an issue. So you just make a little note in your logbook.
Yeah. So hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right, and we're back from our sponsor non-sponsor break.
We're going to have a couple of those. All right, so what does a training session look like? The goal, without having to go through each exercise, and I will for this chest day because I know somebody out there wants to mimic it. Shout out Training Log Podcast. Go watch me train. The goal is always each working set, and this is where it's really important for your training partner to like kind of check with you too. Is if you're doing an exercise and you're at 5-6 warm up reps, you want to know like, hey man, is this a working set? Are we working here? And you'll hear me say that in a lot of my videos. Are you working here? And no. And you just kind of give your training partner a nod. So the goal is always 9 to 11 reps of under your force production to failure, to mechanical failure, right? You can leverage your body and create some body English to get an additional rep. We don't need that, right? That's what your training partner's for. Yeah. So you'll see on an incline press, like a hammer strength or something that's really safe where you have an ability to grab onto the actual handles and help move, right? You know where that sticking point is as a good training partner. You watch some of our videos and like I'm actually trailing the bar with my hand because I'm not even really watching. I'm waiting on that rhythm to slow down, and I'm going to start applying the least amount of force to get
just
you
so
over
we can get through it.
Because from a hypertrophy standpoint, your muscles don't really know that you didn't produce all that force because they're still pushing against the resistance. Yeah. So they're still recruiting motor units, and it's still getting that stimulus of this asshole is going to do this again next week. We need to get bigger and stronger. So we'll do a set of 9 to 11, and then there's at least 2 working sets. Now, I've recently, for hamstrings, went and added in stiff leg deadlifts with just a regular bar. Yeah. And that is, I train first thing in the morning, 5:36. That is entirely too taxing. So I've only done 2 working sets for the past 4 weeks. Yeah. There's no need for me to put a third set in there right now because it would just fry me. Yeah. And that's just from having good training gauge and knowing that, like, I can get more volume on a ham curl or a prone curl than I need here right now. Yeah. So 9 to 11 reps, usually 3 working sets. Now, if you begin to start losing to the logbook, or you can just tell that that third set is not going to be really efficient, really useful,
drop it off.
Back down set.
Yeah.
So pull off a percentage of weight and then keep your rep range at 7 to 11, or look at doing some sort of an intensity variable. A rest pause, a drop set, a strip set, a giant set, a cluster set.
Yeah.
So all these different intensity variables that you can continue to push that last set where your mechanical force production is now weathered.
Yeah.
And then you just move to a different plane of motion or a different angle. So chest fly, incline, flat, whatever it may be for that particular muscle group.
So, all right, so that was with your chest stuff. So where, with your working sets, you'd have 3 working sets. Does that include your drop sets, or is like just depends on how y'all feel that day if you do a drop set?
Drop sets are rarely used, and usually it's a fatigue management.
Like if you're fucked up that day, like you guys kind of, all right, we'll probably get like 1 good set in, and we'll do a couple drop sets.
Always at least 2.
Yeah.
It's usually 3 straight sets because we're growing.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people, like your young kids especially, will see this. Like my Gymshark bros that are in there with that same Patrick Mahomes haircut.
Yeah.
Get a different haircut. They'll do every intensity variable necessary because training can be boring.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a repeated stimulus that your body has to learn to adapt to.